Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the second part of our video of the coverage of our major storm, hurricane or subtropical storm. Sandy is developing, it's intensifying, and it is getting interesting by the hour. Here we are with the 11 p.m. discussion, and what do we have in place here? We have Hurricane Sandy at 75 mile per hour winds. The pressure is down again, down to 960 millibars. Starting to get ready to push into that 959, 958 level. And lo and behold, look what the National Weather Service has decided to do, or the National Hurricane Center, should I say. It has moved the track north towards, well, where have I been saying? Oh, yeah, central New Jersey. It is taking the track basically towards the New Jersey coast and then swings it right towards the Monmouth and Ocean County border of New Jersey and then right into central Pennsylvania. This track is bad news for New York City. Very bad news, okay? The reason why is because you're on the northeast quadrant of this storm. Very strong winds. Those winds are going to be piling up quite a bit of water into the Long Island Sound and the Battery of New York. Latest model guidance from Storm Surge basically drives about anywhere from 6 to 10 feet of water into the battery. That's a lot of water. That's going to lead to some significant flooding. If you're listening to this video right now and you are in Zone A or B in around New York City, if you're in any low-lying area in New York City, please do what you can to leave now. Take your bottle of soda with you, your 32-ounce cup that you can't buy anymore. Get that soda, get your baggage, get everything, get out. Plain and simple. I'm putting it that way, okay? Now, let's take a look at the forecast. First, let's backtrack a little bit. And again, here we are with our hurricane. Now, what's interesting over the past hour that I find really amazing is that we're starting to see convection developing around and over the center of this hurricane once again. The past few days, the past 24 to 36 hours, the center has been exposed and all the convection has been to the north and northwest of the low-level center. This evening, tonight, we are seeing redevelopment of that convection over the center of circulation. I think this is key. This is very important because we just are starting to see this. If this trend continues, what we'll see is that the warm core low of this storm will intensify, will become stronger than what the model guidance is currently suggesting before it becomes subtropical and eventually extratropical. Why is this important? Because we're adding more energy into the atmosphere. This is a very interesting observation that we've been seeing over the past 15 to 30 minutes. And if it continues to expand and develop, this is a game changer as far as the potential intensity of this storm. As always, these tropical systems always like to throw a little bit of a wild card into the development here. And this hurricane, Hurricane Sandy, is moving over the Gulf Stream and under an environment that is slightly better in terms of shear. Not the best environment, don't get me wrong, but it's slightly better than what we've been dealing with. And if we continue to see this convection developing around this low-level center, we're going to see an intensifying hurricane before it becomes subtropical and extratropical. Taking a look at the water vapor satellite picture like last time, again, very impressive. Here's our trough. This is our polar trough right here. Here's our hurricane. Trough, hurricane. Trough, about to catch hurricane. Trouble, big trouble. So this trough and the disturbance with it right here is going to capture this hurricane that's trying to transition to a subtropical storm. But again, this convection is very interesting. It's an interesting game changer here, and one that will definitely keep us on our toes here. So, again, oh, by the way, here's our high latitude blocking. By the way, let's talk about the radar again. Precipitation starting to increase along the Jersey Shore. Very heavy rain over North Carolina. Why am I bringing this up? Well, we're seeing a great deal of moisture build up over the northern mid-Atlantic, but the model guidance I'm about to show you is suggesting not so much. I have some doubts on that. So let's get to the model guidance. Now, I have a general rule. You never follow the model guidance wholeheartedly. You don't, how do I put it? You don't use it like a Bible, okay? You use it as a tool. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to break down this tool. So here we are at 1 a.m. on Sunday morning, just a few hours away. Here's our hurricane intensifying. I think it's going to be intensifying just a bit. And of course, here's our trough. Now, by tomorrow morning, we're going to see this trough go negatively tilt, and our hurricanes start to shift more towards the north and northwest. Notice the lifting here that's starting to develop over the New Jersey coast. Now, the NAM model guidance suggests that we're not really going to see much in the way of precipitation. I disagree. I think we're going to see an increase in showers up and down the New Jersey coast into New York City with this storm as we move forward. By the time we get to Sunday afternoon, I think again we're going to see more showers increase over the Jersey coast. Here's our dying cold front at the surface. Here's our large tropical storm or large hurricane transitioning into a subtropical storm. You can see at 500 millibars, we are not at a phase position yet on Sunday afternoon. We're just starting to get that interaction. On the water vapor, tomorrow's water vapor is going to be incredibly dynamic and very interesting to watch. And it's something that most likely every weather nerd in the United States will probably crop this picture and put it on their desktop. It's going to be incredibly impressive and a lot of fun to keep an eye on. By tomorrow evening, this is when things start to get very interesting. We start to see a phase really start to get itself together. The hurricane is trapped now. It isn't going to exit out into the Atlantic. It's moving back towards the northwest. It is starting to blow up because it's starting to interact with this disturbance here. And you can see the interaction starting to unfold at 700 millibars with the moisture. Now you notice this dry air here? Well, the model guys is suggesting that on Sunday afternoon and evening that there's going to be a focusing of the rain more from, let's say, southern New Jersey down to North Carolina. And there really won't be much in the way in New York City. I don't think it's going to be completely dry. I think on Sunday afternoon and evening, you're going to see scattered showers. It won't be a steady rainfall. I think that if you're in Connecticut, most locations, especially as you move north, will be dry. I think as you move towards the coast, you're going to have a better chance for more showers. But the bulk of the rainfall on Sunday is going to be further towards central New Jersey on south. So we got that point right there. Now, by the evening hours, this is where I slightly disagree with the model guys. I think this is way too strong. I think this is a result of convected feedback because you got a lot of lifting developing along the coast here. I think a little bit too much. I think this might be a little bit overdone on the NAM model guidance. So look for showers to expand up and down from basically southern Connecticut all the way down to Jersey coast. I think the dry air will be focused more towards New England. Here's our phase continuing to evolve on Sunday evening. By late in the evening on Sunday night into Monday, this is where, boom, it blows up. By Monday morning, here we have our phase starting to become complete. Our storm explodes with a pressure dropping down below 955 millibars. We could be talking about pressure falling down into the 930s here, ladies and gentlemen, as this storm explodes. Yes, it's going to be that impressive. And of course, we're going to have very heavy rainfall Monday morning from basically the New York City metro on south. Again, I think we're dealing with a little bit of convective feedback error here over Connecticut and New York City. I do think we're going to see rain on Monday morning, and that rain will become heavy. By Monday afternoon, our phase again is complete. Our storm is starting to retrograde back towards the New Jersey coast. Our rainfall is growing and becoming very heavy throughout the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area. Now, at this time, with the showers moving in and with a lot of shear going on, look for the potential for some tornadoes. That's right, I said it, tornadoes. The reason why is because we're going to be dealing with a lot of wind moving here. A lot of what we call speed shear from the mid-levels down to the surface. So you could see a spin up here and there. It's not going to be widespread. It's not going to be something like a severe weather outbreak like what we had in the spring and the summer. But it will be something to keep an eye on. And don't be surprised if we see a few embedded thunderstorms show some turning. And of course, the National Weather Service throwing out a few warnings as a result. The main focus, though, is going to be the very strong winds and the very heavy rain. The other aspect that we're going to be dealing with on Monday afternoon is going to be the increased coastal flooding. The first high tide is going to be on Monday morning. And by the way, hello, full moon. That's going to enhance the tides as well. So the first potential for significant coastal flooding will be Monday morning, and then Monday evening as we deal with another high tide moving in. By the time we get into Monday evening, by the way, here we are at 8 p.m., full phase. This storm bombs out. Boom, explodes right off the New Jersey coast. You're dealing with very heavy rain throughout the entire New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area. Now, the heaviest rainfall is going to be just to the west of this low pressure system. And that does not count for New York City. But I do think that we're seeing an underplaying in the potential precipitation in the forecast for New York City and for portions of Connecticut. General rule here with this storm: the further north you are, the less rain you'll see. Okay, so if you're in northern Connecticut, you'll see an inch, maybe 2 inches. But you'll see a dramatic increase in your rainfall as you move towards southern Connecticut, 2 to 4. Around New York City, Long Island, over 4 inches of rain very easily. The one thing that the models cannot pick up at this time is the dynamic mesoscale influences of this rainfall. Keep an eye for very, very heavy downpours and tropical type downpours in your location, and that's going to have to be nowcast. For basically the New York City metropolitan area, look for 4 inches on up. For central New Jersey, on southwest towards Philadelphia, 6 inches of rain is going to be your base on up. I would not be surprised someone in that location in central southern New Jersey, the Philadelphia metropolitan area, on southwest towards the Baltimore metropolitan area, that someone sees over 10 inches of rain from a very heavy downpour. And oh, by the way, with that cold air trying to rush in, because we're having an interaction with that trough, okay, and cold air trying to rush in, that we're going to see a very dynamic thermal gradient, and we could actually see, from an extratropical standpoint, what's called a deformation zone, an area of very heavy precipitation developing. And oh, by the way, while all this is happening, there's going to be snow in West Virginia. Why? Because we have cold air invading. So yes, we even have snow, very heavy snow in this storm as well, especially for the higher interior of West Virginia, even portions of Ohio and western Pennsylvania and western Virginia here in the higher elevations. Where is that cold air going, you might be asking? Well, I'm glad you asked, because on Tuesday night, that cold air is going to try to race towards the coast. Our low pressure system continues to retrograde towards central Pennsylvania. Very heavy rains, very strong winds continuing. Winds are going to be throughout this entire event from Monday morning on through Tuesday, looking at winds anywhere from 45 to 65 miles per hour. Gusts well over 75 miles per hour. Do not be surprised if you see 100 mile per hour winds, because what happens is the troposphere is going to basically fold and crash towards the surface, and as a result, you get very strong wind gusts. So be on alert for that. So again, that cold air, by the way, is racing towards the coast. By the time we head into Tuesday morning, that cold air is reaching the coast. Do not be surprised to see some snowflakes mixed into your heavy rain on Tuesday morning as this low pressure system starts to basically what we call become vertically stacked. It's now officially an extratropical low pressure system. While it's doing that, cold air is racing in, ironically, from basically Virginia towards the New Jersey coast. And with all this lifting going on, you're going to see the potential, especially you see this lifting right here, you're going to see the potential for some of that cold air leading to a mix-over of rain, snow, and sleet. Pretty impressive, right? By the time we get into Tuesday evening, that storm is still there. It's still pinwheeling around, and it's going to continue to produce the potential for snow. Should I say rain? A mixture of snow and sleet, especially if you're in the Poconos. Keep an eye on that. Don't be surprised if you get a little snow output out of this, maybe 1 or 2 inches. Nothing crazy, but it could surprise a couple of people. We're talking about a lot of dynamic lifting here, and this cold air racing in with some precipitation hanging around. I wouldn't rule it out. So then by the time we get to Wednesday, we're out maybe trick-or-treating. It's Wednesday morning. This low pressure system starts to weaken, starts to lift out, and look for a few lingering showers on Wednesday morning, clearing out for Wednesday afternoon. That is your forecast discussion. I hope I covered everything I possibly could for this event. Again, we're going to be dealing with coastal flooding, widespread heavy rainfall, very strong winds. This is a very dangerous storm,